Hey guys. All right. I seem quiet. This seems loud. Maybe it's just loud in my brain. Okay. That seems correct. All right. So, following along from yesterday, we have all those bags up there full of clay. Just want to adjust that camera. Oh, I need to adjust a couple cameras here. I am weirdly stuck on a cable. Okay. There we go. Cool. There's that. And I don't know what's going on with this thing over here. Let's fix that. Oh, I see. Oh. How we doing? All right. That's not good. All right, so we need to go up a little bit and to the right a little bit. Okay, we can do that. Maybe? Too much? Who knows? Well, you can no longer see my chair. We're back to... let's sit down and find out. Maybe I just need to... We're just gonna lower it that way. Let's lower it just till I get that chair in view. It'd be awesome if I could see the screen from the camera. We're right back to where we were. Guys! This isn't the make the cameras work Okay, I keep lowering it. How is it not? Sometimes things just hate me. And we're going back up. Tilting this down. All right, well, maybe? Aha! There we go. All right, so quick update. Doing 100 yarn bowls in 30 days. To do this challenge, I got 550 pounds of clay. 55 4-pound balls and 55 6-pound balls equal 550 pounds of clay. So yesterday, I took the time and I weighed out 450 pounds of clay. If you were following along last night, I was falling asleep. I was so tired. So I didn't actually get the last 100 pounds weighed. Now, the last 100 pounds that I have is going to be a mix of Clayer White and Umbria to hopefully get a marbled type look for some of these bowls. I do not like throwing with Umbria. I do not like throwing with Clayer White. So we are going to see how that goes, but we'll see. So we're going to start with 6-pound balls today. I'm going to do them on the larger bats until I run out of them. I like these bats that came with the wheel better than these other ones. I am going to be using these today, but I want to get a good one first. So these are made by Pottery Head. Pottery Head? I don't want to tell you wrong. I wish they had a logo on these. Either way, they don't sit fully down on my wheel, so they kind of move as I throw. So they're a little annoying. I don't know if that's just a my wheel issue. I don't know if that happens to all wheels. I don't want to say anything bad about the product because other than that, they seem very good. They're plastic, and I like plastic because I'm not the best at cleaning my supplies. So to be able to keep them in water for a little while I get to them to clean them is perfect for me. Buy the supplies that suit you. Don't buy the supplies that suit others. Unless you're just testing stuff out, and then, learn from others too. Not saying that that's a bad thing. All right. So for my first 100 pounds here, I am going to have to weigh it out. So we're going to do that first. I'm going to get 2 6-pounds ready to go. And while I do this, I'm going to start a voice call with Zanny. I'm going to tank the music. I don't want to mute it. Ooh. Can't I just turn it down? There we go. Yeah, we're going to turn that down so that it's still kind of there. All right. Hopefully, oh, it looks like Zanny is online, but I cannot hear him. So, but I think that's a me problem, not a him problem. Voice and video, output to my headset. All right. And yeah, you know what? Okay, now that I'm looking at OBS, can you do that one more time?
Oh, okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Woohoo! Okay, we look to be at about the same volume now. Awesome. Welcome aboard. Um, I
Good
was
morning.
I was just going over the whole 100 yarn bowls in 30 days challenge that I'm doing.
I will
Um,
say, for what it's worth, you are slightly muffled.
am I? That sucks. Um, Unfortunately, I don't think there's much I can do. Let's
Hmm?
see where Discord is grabbing my voice from. User settings, voice
Mm.
and video. That's because it's grabbing my voice from a camera. How's
Hey, there we go.
that? All
That's
right.
better.
All right. I've got water. I've got coffee. I've got OBS. I've got my chat messages. I've got my clay.
Actually, now that I think about it, I should go take some water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it. Um, okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna start off with 3 pounds of Umbria and 3 pounds of Clayer White for this. Um, for these first 6 bowls today. So we're going to weigh them out on this nifty. And hmm, maybe I won't be perfect. Maybe some will have more brown and some will have more white.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Am I supposed to be able to see you?
If you want to see me, you have to jump into either Twitch or um, YouTube.
Okay. I'm on you. I'm on YouTube, but I don't see the
Are you on Throw with us or Roll with us?
throw with us.
And I'm not live?
Oh, there it is.
Okay. I was going to say, well, that's a problem. That needs to get fixed before we do anything.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you on YouTube because there's a slight delay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of funny as I watch things, because I watch the comments and whatnot, and I'm like, I am no longer standing there. I haven't been
Which,
standing there
ironically,
for a while.
I can't see the live chat feed if that makes a difference.
Huh, I don't know why.
Oh Lord, I need to be quieter because apparently I'm getting picked up by my baby monitor. Oop, now I can see it.
Okay. Um, yeah, so yesterday I weighed out 450 pounds of clay.
Good
Um,
night.
yeah, my shoulders, they really don't like me today. Um, but I didn't get to the last 100 pounds. So today I am going to be weighing clay and throwing at the same time and hoping to get through those last 100. Um,
Ganbate.
Translate?
Um, Contextually, in this case, it means a combination of good luck and you've got this.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, so I'm gonna be going live a lot this month, so I figured that I would have random people on um to kind of talk through characters and, whatever they're up to lately. And
Do you
since
want me
we're
to
kind
talk in character?
um you don't have to talk in character, but like, we can discuss your character and um talk about backstory, talk about um my version of Ravnica, which is definitely not necessarily um, lore based. I mean, it's lore based, but it doesn't follow the lore exactly. Like, Theo wanted a um, a town so like, that was based mostly just on the Simic, because that's not
Mhm.
really how Ravnica worked. Ravnica is a world that is just an entire city. It was closed off from other worlds, and only planeswalkers in the uh, Magic the Gathering setting could planeswalk between the worlds. So
So
when
Taurus, got it. Okay, that's good to know.
so when D&D kind of took it over, they made it um they didn't have it be open to other worlds, and it was kind of like its own setting
Uh-huh.
because Wizards of the Coast owns both companies, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so in a previous campaign of mine, it was all closed off, closed loop. When people die, you become spirits, you become reborn. You can't become reborn until you've paid off your contracts with the Orzhov, um, because in life or death, they own your soul until you pay off contracts. They couldn't actually get any of them to take loans with the Orzhov for some reason. I don't know why.
Gee.
Um, I kept trying. I kept trying to sell them overpriced things so that they would take a loan from the Orzhov, um, but they weren't interested. Which is the campaign
You know
that
the
bet.
sad part is I
Uh-huh.
could see Sakura taking a loan just because, whereas Duvanian would know better.
There you go. Um, yeah, so like if you died in Ravnica and you didn't pay off your debt yet, well, they're now going to use your ghost as free labor until you've paid off your debt.
How do you pay it off if it's free labor?
Good point. Minimum wage labor. Um, so yeah, so they pretty much own you until your debt's paid off. Um, Man, 6 pounds is
I'm
a lot of
going to
coin.
assume that's a bowl of water diagonally catty corner to you.
I have two bowls of water. I have what's going to be my scrap bucket of water, and I have my clean bucket of water where I'll be dipping my hand. It won't be clean for very long. But I try to keep two because I have a tendency to throw all of my scrap into my water bucket, and then I'm throwing with slip, and I don't like throwing with slip. Some people do. I'm not a fan.
Mm.
Slip is really thin clay instead of throwing with water, and I'm just not a fan of it.
I just noticed the one on the right seems to be vibrating with every movement you take, where the one on the left is like, eh.
You're right. Come on. There we go. So this is a lot of clay. This is 6 pounds. I'm going to be starting off with the big bowls today, and as my muscles get more and more tired, I will move on to the 4 pound bowls.
Mm, I like the idea of making stuff like this, but I wouldn't have the patience, I think, unless I had the time to dedicate to it.
Yeah, you have to be really okay with failing on a regular basis.
Exactly. Where this is where my perfectionist persona would come into play, and it would drive me insane.
Yeah, you have to be really okay with failing, which is why I'm starting this challenge with 55 pounds of clay, or with 55 of each size,
Good
kind of
night, Liz.
pre-weighed.
Sorry, my baby just sneezed like 5 times.
um, so let's talk about Sacro for a second. Poor Sacro.
Yeah, his hubris got the better of him.
um, and like we discussed before, you don't have to decide if you're going to take him back once and if you guys find him. Um, that'll
It all
be
depends on how things go by the time we find him, if we
yeah,
find him. Oh, and Lily's awake, so I may be on
yeah,
borrowed time.
that's okay. I'm here all day, Ann. I'm in. I'm here all. Well, not all month. I'm actually going to be gone for a week in the middle of the month. But yeah. So you drew a card from the deck of many, and typically with that card, you just take the person's soul. Um, but I have plot devices in play, and so you are kind of sucked. You got teleported to somewhere. You're not exactly sure where. Um,
Mhm.
but you saw a bunch of glass jars with lights in them, and then you saw someone, kind of an older woman, walk over, look into your glass jar, smile, and leave the room.
Right.
What are you
And then
thinking?
ironically, even player me has no idea what's going on, so I can only imagine what's going through his head.
Yeah, what's Sakura thinking right now?
He's probably thinking at this point, okay, I have to get out of here at some point. The question is how. The better question is, dare I try escape or can I?
That's fair.
Because he doesn't even know if he can get out. Because as far as he knows, he's in a glass jar, but at the same time, that glass may be unbreakable. His attempts at getting out may do nothing.
Cool.
Which, on the same token, begs the question, how long will he survive in there before he, shall we say, suffocates from lack of oxygen?
Good
Assuming that's
question.
even assuming that's even a problem where he is. Because
um,
my assumption is if it's just his soul that's there, he might not need to breathe, but I don't know.
yeah. You would know that Sakura was currently not needing to breathe.
Okay. Well, that's one danger averted then.
Um, so we brought
um,
in a.
I just had an interesting thought.
Mhm.
He has a. I'm trying to think. At level 4, would. Oh no, wait. Level 4, would he have his breath weapon?
um, he would, but he does not currently have a body.
Oh, so he's just like a little white cloud.
He's just like a little white cloud. He
Okay,
can
old
kind of
school
make the
anime style.
assumption, looking around the room, that he might be one of these little lights in a jar.
Gotcha. Well, there goes my next thought. But
Yeah.
continue. What were you saying?
Um, so now we're bringing in Sakuro. And,
Um,
oh,
you
not
mean
Sakuro.
Duvanian?
I'm so sorry. What's your new character's name?
Duvanian,
Duvanian. D for short.
right? Because I'm willing to suspect not everybody's going to want to keep having to pronounce that. According to my friend who I got the idea for the name from, it means um, beautiful shadow girl. It's Elvish.
Cool.
I don't offhand remember which part means what, though, if it's broken up that way.
Hmm, cool. So yeah, so now we're bringing in Duvanian. And I have to say, I was not expecting that you would immediately out yourself as a Demir. But we kind of talked about that later. And I love the fact that you outed yourself as a Demir immediately. Um, because,
That was player ignorance.
I love it. Because the Demir are just librarians. And not
Right. Wink,
all
wink.
Demir know what the Demir Guild is. Some of them are just librarians.
Hmm.
Wobble, 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 wobble. Slow you down a little bit. Um,
I will say, watching the pot spin like that is almost ASMR inducing.
I can watch people throw. It's just like glass blowing. I can watch people throw glass for days.
Oh, absolutely. When I go to Silver Dollar City, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
I like to just sit there and watch them blow glass. It's amazing.
Yeah. We went
That
to
being
Corning,
that
which
being
I'm
said,
assuming is the same thing.
come again?
We just went to Corning, which I'm assuming is the same type of thing.
I don't know. I've never heard that term.
Have you heard of Corning Glassware, the baking dish people?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I assume Corning is the name of the company.
Yeah. Also a town in
I
New York. Yep.
Oh, right. Never mind. Yeah. Um, which begs the question now that I think about it. Do you know of Silver Dollar City?
I don't.
Ah, it's in Branson, Missouri.
Okay.
Long story short, um, I think the easiest way to explain it, in my opinion, is it's steampunk. It's got this very old school vibe to it, where the people even dress up like they're from the 19th century.
Huh, interesting. That's cool.
But at the same time, they have a few modern things, but that's not what you go there for.
That's fair.
You go there for the old school vibe. And it's one of those where it's like as a kid, I didn't get it, so I didn't care for it.
Hmm.
Where as I got older, I learned to appreciate. it for what it was, and now it's one of my favorite places to go.
Nice.
Would that I could get a job there, but it's one of those where it's like, that's a 5-hour drive, I think. Maybe more. I
Yeah.
don't remember offhand. It's been too long.
Yeah, that would be a
But
permanent move.
oh, absolutely. But at the same time, which again, moving to Branson, I personally wouldn't have a problem with it. It's one of my favorite cities.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's one of those where it's like, brain, focus. Um, it's one of those places where it's like, because everything is hand done the way it is,
Mhm.
it's expensive to
Yep.
where my dad has actually nicknamed the place Steal Your Dollar City.
Yep. It's
Like,
not
for
cheap to
example,
handmake stuff.
I wanted to buy one of those vases that they had made, and I saw them go anywhere from 35 to over $200.
Mhm.
And it's like, wow. I mean, I get it because it's all, again, hand blown, but
Yep.
good night.
Mhm. Yeah. It's amazing what happens when people actually charge what things are worth instead of paying people 50 cents an hour to 2 cents an hour to make stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
I'm trying
so
to
I was
figure out how we got.
surprised that you what?
I'm thinking out loud. I was trying
Oh,
to figure
okay.
out how we got from Duvanie into Silver Dollar City.
Watching people work.
Oh, right.
Um, but yeah, I was reading your backstory a little bit yesterday or this morning, I don't know, either way. Um,
Mm.
and I was surprised that you went with high elf and not wood elf being from the forest.
That was something I came up with last night. It was one of those where it was like, it works, and I ran with it. Wood Elf was one of those where it was like, at the time, I didn't think to go with Wood Elf.
Okay.
Um, which looking back, I probably would have, but on the same token, it's one of those where it's like, at this point, I've already got the character built. I don't want to have to redo it.
Mhm.
And the funny part is, her backstory, I am borrowing heavily from a fictional character from a story. And so it was like I took that idea and twisted it around, but then ran with it.
Which fictional character did you pull from?
Darth Sidious of all people.
Random. Okay, cool. So you were saying that you got your powers from your parents. Were they aberrant mind or were they like some other kind of sorcerer?
They were simply magically inclined.
Okay. So were they wizards or are they druids?
You know, that's a good point. I'd say with the forest background, I could see them being druidic.
Okay.
The mother would have been druidic. The father, as I mentioned, Actually, no, it'd be the other way around. The father would have been the druid because he likes to farm.
Okay.
The mother probably would have been closer to either a wizard or possibly a sorcerer herself.
Cool.
Oh, Lily's awake. But I've got my eyes on her. I've got a camera watching her. Yeah, depending on which one I want to use, I've got 4 different camera angles.
Oh, wow. You really have your eye on her.
Well, it's one of those where it's like, I want to make sure that I can see her.
Okay.
And the cool part is the camera angle I've got her on right now. Normally she's too small to see clearly, but I'm able to zoom in. So
Okay.
I've got it trained on her.
Cool.
Normally the camera angle I'm using right now is wide enough to encompass most of the room. Oh, she
Nice.
says hello. Someday I'm hoping to eventually bring her into the D&D world.
Obviously.
With any luck, she'll have more of an interest than Jean did.
And honestly, it's why I started DMing. I was so bored sitting at a table waiting for my turn to come around, um, that I started DMing because I couldn't handle it. Um, I've since learned to um, pay more attention during other
Yeah.
people's turns and whatnot. Um,
I mean, as a DM, you kind of have to.
yeah, but I'm talking more along the lines of um, like during Dungeon of the Mad Mage,
Oh, sure.
to you know, comment during other people's turns and just being like, "Oh no, she's going to throw fireball again."
Right.
Um,
Which, ironically, in her current state, Allegra can't.
or I've got this. I'm just gonna eat these guys. You guys deal with that other guy.
Right? I'm not sure
Um,
if you can hear her on the microphone,
no.
which is ironic because she's like 8 inches away.
Yeah, Discord does a really good job of filtering out actual speech and not speech.
Yeah, and I've also noticed it does a good job of filtering out, like, if I'm eating.
Yeah.
On the same
Um,
token, I'm also using a Shure MV7 Plus, so I would hope it does a good job.
yeah, the only issues that I typically experience with it is when I'm doing really high pitched voices and I'm talking in character like this, then it's like that's not a
Yeah.
voice. Don't bother
Yeah,
because you're not getting picked up.
I've noticed that myself, which can get really interesting depending on what game I'm doing for my channel. Because at one point it was hilarious. I was attempting to voice act, or yeah, that'll work. And the character was female. Problem is, 90% of what I was saying wasn't getting picked up.
Yep. So I'm using these bats today because they're bigger for the 6 pound bowls.
Mhm.
But these bats specifically, I'm not a fan of because they wibbly wobbly on my wheel. But I only have 6 big bats, so they're getting used.
Mhm.
And maybe after I use them a bunch, they won't be as wibbly wobbly on the wheel. I don't know. I didn't give them much of a chance. Once they became wibbly wobbly, I got annoyed with them
Mm.
and I stopped using them.
How did you learn how to do this out of curiosity?
Um, so way back in the day, we had a crafter who would bring her wheel to shows because my parents used to run craft shows when I was a kid. And she would bring her wheel and she would let people um, do little stuff and like um, I used to make pots on her wheel. I loved it. I had so much fun. And I've been doing ceramics all my life with slip casting with molds and stuff. And so we already have like the kiln and most of the equipment that I need. I just didn't have like most of the know-how kind of a thing. We just didn't have the
Uh-huh.
wheel, we didn't have the clay. So I was kind of saying that I wanted to get into it. And my dad's like, oh, somebody I went to high school with does classes. You should reach out. I'm like, cool, I will do that. So my friend and I took a class with someone that my dad and aunt went to high school with. Got to hear
Uh-huh.
all the cool stories about my aunt as a child. That was fun. Um, I absolutely adored throwing. And it was funny because I'm left-handed, but I don't do a lot of things left-handed. I
Yeah.
bat righty, I shoot righty, I golf righty, um,
Hmm.
knit,
No, I hear that.
crochet.
I think offhand, the only thing that I really do left-handed, and even then that depends on various factors, including the wind, is use a frisbee.
Okay.
I can
Um,
snap my fingers left-handed, but I can't with my right. I can't figure that out.
oh, that's interesting. Um,
Yeah, with my right hand, it's like, okay, what am I doing?
yeah, so I write lefty, but I can write righty. I eat lefty unless I'm also writing. Like if I'm
Mhm.
working while I'm eating, then I eat righty without really
I
thinking
am.
about it.
I can eat either left or right. It depends on my mood or
Okay,
what I'm eating too.
that's fair.
And it also depends on what utensil I'm using. Like, for example, if I'm using a fork, I can work either way. If I'm using a spoon, I have to use my right hand.
Oh, I never thought about that. No, I would do that
Learn
both
that.
ways.
Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way when I tried to use my left hand and completely missed my mouth because my depth perception is BS.
Um, so when I got there and we started throwing, she's like, "Why your hands are backwards? Stop it. What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. This feels weird." And she looked at me and she goes, "Are you lefty?" And my best friend started laughing. And I'm like, "Shut up." Because she's the one who taught me how to like knit and crochet, but she tried to
Right?
teach me lefty and I could not figure it out to save my life. And finally she taught me righty. And she's like, "How does this make sense to you? You are not right-handed." I'm like, "But I sort of am."
Right? I will say for what it's worth, I do archery one way or the other depending on mobility for starters
Huh.
or how I'm trying to shoot. Like for example, if I'm aiming the bow perpendicular to the ground, I tend to do better right-handed. Where if I aim the bow parallel, meaning where the bow is
Hmm.
um more
Going the
like a
same direction
crossbow,
as the earth.
right?
Hmm.
In which case that I most of the time shoot left-handed, but it also depends on how tired my arms are.
Okay.
because drawing a bow takes a lot more strength than most people realize.
Oh yeah. I used to love archery as a kid.
And
That was one of
especially if you have tendonitis like I do.
oh yeah, it was one of those hobbies that I had wanted to get into and I never actually did.
I actually have a recurved bow somewhere. I think it's probably tucked away in the garage at this point. Either that or it may be at my dad's house. Speaking of bows, he actually built his own bow. Um, Let me see. There. I sent it to you in Discord.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I wish I had his talent for stuff like that, but on the same token, again, I don't think I would have the patience.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you can hear that. There is a really low flying helicopter.
Nope.
And the funny part is I can't see it, but I can tell it's a helicopter by the sound it's making.
Mhm. Hello, Ash. Do not eat that clay. Don't do it. I know you want to. Don't do it.
Can't see the cat on this side of things.
Oh, it's a dog. Here. Ash,
Oh,
up here. Can you jump up here? Come on. Come on. Up. Up. No. Come on. Up. Come here. I don't want to get you clay covered. Come on up. Hello, honey. Can you follow the hand?
oh, I see something. Oh,
My second one. There's my first one. Yeah, these are the 6 pound ones. I figured I would start with the big ones so that I could wear out my shoulder, and then I'd come back in and do the 4 pound ones later. I'm on the Wibbly bat right now.
hey, Gary.
Adam says hi.
Yeah, ironically, I can't hear him from where you are because it doesn't
No,
come through your
I'm
headset.
yeah, he doesn't come through my headset unless he's like shouting close to me.
Oh, I can see him now.
Wave, wave, say hi.
Why am I waving like you can see me, idiot? My camera's not on.
We haven't actually we've sort of gotten into it a little bit, but we've gotten way distracted, like we do.
Yeah.
Slow this down.
One advantage of the swing I have her in is that she can't roll.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's figured out how to roll over, and so the problem is she has not figured out how to reverse the process and go from her stomach to her back
Yeah, she'll learn that.
eventually. What's hilarious is when she's on her back, if she wants to go anywhere, she will like rotate her arms and legs in a way that she scoots.
Okay. She's learning mobility.
Right?
Mwahaha.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gary, next time you come down, can you bring the sweeper thing so I can sweep up this clay? The Yeah, dustpan, that's what it's called. Thank you. I'm so glad my husband can decipher my words.
Yeah. I wish I could make that argument. Jean and I have a very odd sense of communication in that regard because English is her third language.
Oh, I was bad at learning a second language.
Oh, yeah? What language did you try and learn?
Well, I took Spanish in high school. That was a
Ah,
disaster. But when I go to my cousin's house in Bermuda, my one cousin is from Chile. So like sometimes her cousins are there and they only speak Spanish.
mm,
So we figure it out.
yeah, I understand that. My in laws, most of them, are the same way. For example, my mother in law and my father in law, they speak hardly any English whatsoever. They can understand it somewhat if I speak slowly enough, but they don't know how to reply in kind,
Yeah.
which makes sense. I mean, I'm that way with Japanese. I can understand it better than I can speak it.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't even tried in years to speak Spanish. So I've lost 90% of what I know.
Same. I used to be fluent, and nowadays, if I come up against a native speaker and that's all they know, half the time I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah, I made jokes, the last time I tried to use it and I was just like, look, here's the thing. If I go to Mexico, the only thing that I need to know is La Cerveza, La Baña, El Baño, whatever. I don't know if that's male and female, but
Strictly
um,
speaking, it's male.
and agua por favor. That's really ah, damn it.
Another one that would come in handy if you're interested in comestibles would be ¿Dónde está la cocina? Porque tengo hambre, which means where's the kitchen? Because I'm hungry.
Mm. See, I don't plan on it going anywhere where I need to ask where a kitchen is. If I'm going, I'm gonna go eat somewhere. I'm not making myself food.
Well, I mean, more along. I was thinking maybe like they had food laid out.
Mm. Um, yeah, I also know pollo is chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Carne is beef.
carnes, yep, I know, yep. Um,
Pescado is fish.
mhm.
Pavo
Yeah.
is turkey.
I knew egg. I don't remember what egg is.
Huevo.
I was just gonna say is huevo milk or eggs. Okay. Leche is
Milk
milk.
is Yeah, milk is leche.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because in Filipino, it's close. It's letse, Letse.
Okay. See, we've got pottery, we've got D&D, and now we have Spanish language with Spanish lessons. You know, you never know what you're gonna get here.
Multifaceted.
Oh, we do like the random. All
Yeah.
right,
Oh,
back to the
I
bats
think
I
I need
like
to go.
better.
I think I might need to go give Lily some more food. I'll be right back.
Yep, go for it. Third bowl. All right, so that one had more dark brown clay. This one's going to have more white clay. Allie needs more coffee. Ooh, too much clay. All right, we'll do white at the bottom, on top of this one. I know there's clay there for you to eat, but you can't eat it, sweetie pie. I know. I know you want it. All right, before my hands get super duper dirty again, honey. Yeah. Here, come on up here. Come on. Come on. I know. Okay, over here. Come on. Say hi to the camera. Oh, I'm in the way of the camera. Say hi. Look over here. Look over here. Say hi to the camera. I know. Say, why are you holding me? I just got you all brown. I did. Mom's going to be so mad at me for getting you all dirty. So my Umbria clay, which is my dark brown clay, is super um, pliable, whereas my Clayer White clay is definitely not. So it's interesting throwing them together, but I think I've gotten some pretty cool stuff so far. It's okay. Hi. You want to come up? Come on. Come on. No. Oh, hi. We need a dog cam, huh? Yeah, we need a dog cam. Hello, my sweet pretty boy. Hello, my sweet pretty boy. Okay, let me throw. I gotta work. I know you want attention. I gotta work. Yeah. All right. this is bowl number 3 for today. Alexa, notifications. Ew, news. No. How dare you push my hand around?
Oh boy.
Welcome back. Um,
Okay.
so why aberrant mind sorcerer?
Um, Long story short, I saw a video where they did what they call a test drive of it, and it got me intrigued.
Okay. Was it because of the abilities of it, or was it because of like the alien tadpole in your brain thing?
Both, actually.
Okay.
And then it also has the versatility going for it.
For like swapping out spells for
Oh,
meta magics and stuff like that.
yeah. It's basically like that way I can play a combination of a sorcerer and somewhat a wizard without actually playing a wizard, because if I play a wizard, I'm basically just reinventing Sakura with character differences.
Okay. Um,
Dep- Depending on how long she survives, or if I get grow fond enough of with her to keep her around, I may have her eventually, maybe, look into going bard. But on the same token, it's one of those where it's like, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It depends on how, shall we say, social she is.
okay. Yeah, I always like the story depicting what kind of level up I take.
Hmm. Mechanically, I could see it definitely making sense, but as far as story goes, that's going to be a little harder to manipulate. But on the same token, I'm attempting to play this one organic.
Nice. Yeah, especially in this game. We're definitely there are no um people that have min-maxed their characters in this game.
I mean, I could have, but I was advised that this particular style is more story driven than combat.
Oh
So,
yeah.
which is actually why I decided to play Sakura the way I did, because it was one of those where it was like the illusionist wizard was one of those that was advertised as amazing, and at the same time it's also one of those where it's like I just like the idea of a prankster who plays tricks on people using minor illusion constantly,
Yeah, love it.
which Duvanian can do, but not to the same degree Sakura can, because Duvanian requires an action, where Sakura can do so as a bonus action.
Right.
I will say one thing that I learned, I think it was last night, I don't remember. Gary pointed out that in the new rules, when it comes to spell casting, if you have a spell that you can cast without using spell slots, apparently you can do so as often as you choose, so long as you don't cast an actual uh oh dang it, what was the word he used?
Leveled spell.
He says, yeah, he says the new rule is that you can only cast one spell with a spell slot, but you can cast as many spells as you want as long as it only uses one spell slot.
Yeah. Yep.
So basically, like with Sakura and his ability to cast Silent Image at will, I, in theory, based on that, should be able to do so multiple times.
Yeah, it
And then
in
you,
theory it should take an I think it takes an action to cast it.
I think so, yeah,
And then so like you can do that and you can do say Misty Step as a bonus action, even though they're
right.
both leveled spells.
Okay, okay, I see what he's saying now. Because I was thinking of taking that one invocation that allows you to cast Alter Self at will.
Okay.
Because I was thinking I could use that, be at be at somebody's shoulder, cast Alter Self on myself, come around to their other shoulder, and have assumed a different form by that point.
Yeah. See how quickly I make slip?
When I hear a
Don't.
slip, I'm thinking clothing. I'm not thinking pottery.
I don't like throwing with slip.
So it turns out Lily wasn't hungry. She just wanted company. But
That's
on the
fair.
same token, I can't take her swing in here. Well,
We need to get you a papoose.
a what?
It's a thing that you wrap around your body to hold baby.
Is that the one that you strap onto like your chest or your back?
Yeah, or it's just like a piece of cloth.
Huh. Although I did just notice I do have an open outlet on my left. I could technically bring her in here. The question is whether I trust myself to carry her and the swing at the same time.
Do it separately. Put her in the bassinet, move the swing, and then put her in it.
Yeah, that's possible. A little more tedious, but yeah.
All right. This is
The
gonna
obvious
need.
downside to that would be bringing her in here. My wife wouldn't be able to keep an eye on her either. Because with our current setup, Jean can watch the cameras while she's at work too.
Oh.
Yeah, we shared the login info with each other, so it's like we can both log into the same app.
Nice. This is getting a little wibbly, so I am heat gunning to get a little bit of the water out.
But at the same time, I've discovered with her knowing how to roll over now, I don't dare put her in a stroller because I can see her trying to roll out of that stroller. I don't know if she would or can, but I'm not going to test it.
Yeah. Hi. My dog is
Hello?
whining at me. I don't know why.
Oh.
Yeah, just grab a papoose, carry her around, and she's just there all day.
You know, it also occurred to me, should we take this Discord call into one of the other open channels in case someone else wants to join?
If you want to. I figured we could talk about your character without outside influences.
Touche.
um, I don't remember. So we kind of talked about Joe's aberrant mind. How did she get her powers, or does she not know?
Um, doo. I mean, as like when did they manifest or
No. How did she get them?
I mean, my assumption would be they would be passed down from her parents. I don't know if it actually works that way in lore, but that's what I went with.
Okay. Cool. Do your parents know how they got their abilities? Or were they
Um
also just passed down? So I have an
the
aberrant mind sorcerer in one of my other games, and when they read the DMG, and apparently this is in Baldur's Gate too. I don't know. I haven't played Baldur's Gate, but apparently, a tadpole crawled into their eye, so now one of their eyes are silver. And
oh, Lily's getting fussy. I'll be right back.
okay. So a lot of people throw with a mirror so that they can see their piece from the side and make sure it's doing what they want it to do. I don't have a mirror, but I do have the camera. So this one got a little bit wibbly. And I don't know if it's because of the how wet I got it or clay. Um, Hello? My doggo wants attention. He's like, I don't understand why I'm down here and I'm not getting pet. Which I mean is totally fair. Okay, so here's the problem that we knew we were going to run into. Flat space.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, long story short, I've switched to my phone because I realized Jean, that's my wife. Lily just wants company. So I've relocated into our bedroom.
That's fair. Okay.
So I can't see what's going on anymore, but I can at least hear you.
Okay. Third bowl done. That one's going to need a whole lot of trimming, but it's gonna dry out a little bit before I attempt to trim that.
Oh,
Okay.
that's interesting. Lily just heard your voice and she started smiling.
She's gonna be hearing me a lot
Oh,
over the
absolutely.
uh over the course of all the games we play together.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Number 4.
Now, I will say the downside to me being in this particular situation is I don't have access to my notes, so I will be going on the fly. At least I. Oh no, I can. I can still. I did not know you could do that. Apparently, when you're using a mobile Discord, you can still go to the written conversations.
Oh yeah.
Neat.
Hi. My dog is needy. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
So
Lily seems content.
wibbly. Now I can hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So I have so if your character doesn't know like how your family got um the powers, that's kind of cool because I can definitely work that in.
I mean,
Um
we could assume it just never came up.
yeah, that's completely up to you. But yeah,
I,
if that's what you
I
want, like I will that will be plot device later in the campaign.
Nice. I will say, for what it's worth, based on the backstory I'm ripping this off of, that makes sense because it was never stated.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
I find myself looking forward to when she can take solid foods because I like the idea of trying to feed her.
How old is she? How many months old?
Let's see. This is June 2nd, so she is 13 days away from being 5 months old.
Oh, okay. So you're close then.
Yeah,
You haven't given her anything solid yet?
not yet.
Wow. You guys
More.
really are holding out. Good job.
It's more so my wife's paranoia than my own practicality.
Okay. Are you giving her like any kind of baby food or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
The closest thing we give her to baby food would be formula,
Okay. Yeah. You guys are really holding out. Good for you guys.
as opposed to
As opposed to my cousin feeding her kid cake on his 1 month anniversary or 1 month birthday. I
what?
mean, it wasn't a lot. It was like, off of her fingertip. But like,
No, it's just, I mean, heck, the only thing that I would be even semi comfortable doing, and I say semi comfortable because I don't know how to safely measure it the way my doctor is suggesting, would be honey.
really? I thought
Yeah,
honey wasn't allowed until like a year or two old.
yeah, most medical doctors are going to say that for um to keep it clean, I'll just say other reasons. Where my doctor has said, yeah, she can do 1 drop per day safely, but I
Okay.
don't have a way to safely measure 1 drop.
Okay. Yeah. 1 drop is a lot different than like a tablespoon. But
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. Where I am what I would like to call a honey connoisseur myself because I use honey for making mead,
right.
but she can't have that obviously.
Aw, you're no fun. Just wait till she starts teething. Be rubbing that all over her gums.
Yeah, we actually just bought some teething mittens because she has gotten into the habit of taking the mittens off that we use to keep her from scratching her face.
Ah,
Yeah, she's figured out that she can use her teeth to bite them off, and it's like, well, I say teeth. She doesn't have teeth yet, but you know what I mean.
she can gum them off.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of our friends bought these like little mesh bags for teething, um, that they put like strawberry puree inside of, frozen strawberry puree inside of, so that
They get a treat, but at the same time, hmm,
numbs their gums. Yeah.
I will say, when the time comes that she does take solid food, which according to everything we've read, should be sometime next month,
Yeah.
um, my doctor has advised me to start her out on fruits and veggies for about a month, and then I can introduce her into ground beef,
Okay.
which I will have basically puree akin to applesauce. Because
Yeah.
apparently, even ground beef, no matter how finely I grind it, is still too big. I did not realize that. That's good to know.
There's
And
food packets here in our grocery store that have like chicken and beef and bison and turkey and
same, but those get expensive. Where
oh
in my
yeah.
case, it would be easier to just, if I make a burger, for example, tear off about a 1 ounce chunk
Mm-hmm.
and then puree the blazes out of it.
Yep.
He also commented that
surprisingly, 1 ounce as far as meat is concerned is all she would need, as opposed to 4 to 7 ounces of milk.
That's fair.
I did not realize there was a difference, but apparently the way the body works, on at least as far as a baby is concerned, yeah, it more properly digests that.
Ugh, I
Because
keep a slip.
after having seen what the diet I'm on has done for my body, I want to get her on it.
Okay.
Because it's been amazing for me.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm actually at what most doctors I trust would say is finally a healthy blood pressure again.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Which I didn't think was possible at my physique. But shows what I know.
Yeah, blood pressure doesn't really have much to do with weight.
No, it doesn't. But on the same token, I've also discovered that a little bit of nitric oxide helps.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which, when I told one of my friends who's a nurse that that's what I was doing, she freaked out because traditionally nitric oxide is used for heart attack patients.
Yep.
I said, yeah, but I'm not taking nearly as much as what they would be giving. I take 250 milligrams a day. Which is ironic because the serving size as recommended is around 700 milligrams per day, but I've discovered my body doesn't like when I do that. But anywho, back to topic.
Back to topic. Come on. This bowl wants to be wibbly. I'm throwing with Clayer White, and I just don't like this clay. It doesn't throw nicely. It doesn't do anything nicely.
Theoretically, could you use bentonite?
Could I use what?
Bentonite?
I don't know. Don't know what that is.
It's a different kind of clay. I may be butchering the name. It could be bentonite, bentonite, somewhere along that line.
Don't know. Is it a stoneware?
That I don't know. I know that humans can typically use it to remove impurities from the body.
Don't know. Probably not. I would say that stoneware is not something that you want to consume.
True. That'd put you on a rocky road.
Wah wah.
Sorry.
You're good. Anytime I see a pun in my channel, I think of you.
I'm attempting to teach Jean how to properly use the phrase, I see you're rubbing off on me. because for some reason, apparently, this one doesn't seem to stick.
Okay.
But it's hilarious to watch her try, though, because she'll typically say, "Oh, I see, you're just rubbing me." I'm like, "No!"
Well, that is an interesting phrase.
Uh-huh.
Um, so in like normal Ravnica settings, there isn't a place for each guild.
Oh, okay. Did
Um,
not know.
yeah, so in normal Ravnica, it is a planet that is one huge city.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yeah.
are I feel an air bubble right there. Um, it's one huge city, and it like they have like different. I don't even want to say sections. Each
District.
guild kind of takes their own areas, and about 50% of the population is guildless.
Mm-hmm.
But the guildless don't have any rights.
Huh.
So my last campaign that I ran strictly in Ravnica, water is amazing. Um,
The sad part is if I had her in the Boris Guild, I could see her using the Boris Guild to have the guildless be like, okay, enough of this. Give us something.
so my last campaign overthrew the government
Exactly.
and demanded equal rights for the guildless, which you know me, I let my players do as they want.
True.
Um, so that was where they wanted the campaign to go. So that was where the campaign went. Um, but in normal Ravnica, please
Yeah.
don't get wibbly. Oh, I was really happy with you until I fucked up. Um,
Ah.
they in normal Ravnica, like I said, it's a closed loop system.
Yeah.
So there's no planes of existence. Nope. Wibbly wobbly, and we all fall down.
Oof.
Okay, first one down. Hi. What's up?
Huh?
Did Gary leave? Huh? My dog is begging for attention.
Oh.
He doesn't normally do that. So I'm making the assumption that Gary has locked him down here.
Mm.
Don't lick my fingers. I have clay all over them. This dog will eat
Oh.
anything. Um, when we adopted Ash, he was literally starving. Um, we did a medical foster with him until he gained enough weight that we could actually adopt him.
Mm-hmm.
So he is very, everything goes in the mouth,
Oof.
including my clay. He really likes to eat my clay. So we have to be careful with him down here because he will just eat chunks of clay. He actually
Yeah.
ate 2 full corn cobs about a
The
week ago.
That's interesting.
Yeah, corn cobs can be really bad for dogs.
I couldn't imagine those being palatable. Huh.
He will eat anything given the chance. So we watched him really closely, and thankfully, instead of it binding him up, which is what I was concerned about, because then we would have to get them medically removed, he just had diarrhea for days. So
Uh,
at least he's better now. I need to figure out where I'm putting this. All right, you go there for the moment. No, you can't go there. All right, where is...
Sorry. I cleared my throat and it startled Lily. She looked at me like, what was that for?
I need to figure out which bin is the correct... My random mix. There we go. Plop. So every day I have to do my reclaim because I only have about 600 pounds of clay total, and this is going to take 550 pounds of clay to do. So anytime I make a mistake, I need to make sure that I start my reclaim that night so that I don't run out of clay
Right.
doing this. Boop. Come on. Thank you. Train of
I found
thought.
I found one of the few things in my kitchen that was quote unquote ready to eat, and so I'm snacking on jalapeno poppers.
Mm. Yum.
I love them when I'm in the right mood.
Yum. All right. So this will be new bowl number 4. Um,
I don't know if you could hear her do that.
I heard, yeah, I wasn't sure if that was you or her.
Yeah, she's blowing raspberries.
Mhm. um, so yeah, closed loop system. So they overthrew the government and guildless got rights.
With it being a closed loop system and no other planes, are there
Mhm.
any deities?
No.
Interesting.
Yep.
Oh,
So your
just got a
powers
hot.
come from your guilds. They don't come from any deities.
Ah, sorry,
Uh,
I just got a hot one.
so I had one of my players be Demir and Azorius, which is the lawmakers
Uh-huh.
and the police. Um,
I thought the Boros were the police.
the Boros is the military.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, so she had so much fun playing Demir. But she took the Demir background. So she had like the spell where you can take a memory out of your brain and like um give it to somebody else.
Oh, like a pensive in Harry Potter.
Yes, exactly like that. So that's part of the Demir background. It's also on like I think it's on the wizard spell list, but
Unfortunately, I don't know if that's in 2024 because I could definitely see her using that.
yeah, all the spells are in 2024. Some of them have been upgraded, some of them haven't, but they're all there.
No, I meant the background, but yeah.
Yeah, you could have taken the Demir background.
Oh. Oh well.
Um,
What spell would she need?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Without a quick Google. But yeah, you pretty much it's pretty much the Harry Potter thing where you stick something in your ear, pull out a memory, and pass it along.
Which I only figured out what those were thanks to Hogwarts Legacy. I played Hogwarts Legacy before I saw Harry Potter.
Okay. Yeah, so like we would always private message after game and we would do her like checking into her apartment and leaving her memories and um oh, what did I call it? Shoot, shoot, shoot. Oh, I don't remember now. It was a little mobile robot that you had to open with a drop of blood and it would give you orders. Um or just your mail for the day. So like she would get random things like sale at Zitherby's.
Huh.
25% off of all non-magical blah blah blahs. Um and then she'd also get her orders or she'd get puzzles for her to figure out.
Which, if I did
Um,
that, my droid would go by the name 114D to follow the theme.
um, well, it wasn't hers. It was like there. It was um, the apartment's. Um, it was called. Was it called Box? No. What was it called?
Baka gutom ka na ba?
Bot? I don't know. I don't remember what I called it now.
Mm.
But it was Is It Made? And yeah, you would just see them like heading through Ravnica to deliver stuff.
Neat.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep track of which job is her public job and which job is her private job.
Yeah, and she had like 6 jobs going at a time.
Ah.
And I had to like and we actually had 2 Demir. Um she was really good at puzzles. The other one wasn't so good at puzzles. And she was like, "Okay, do I need to make like an intelligence check for like help?" And I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "Okay." So she would get through her puzzles with a bunch of intelligence checks. Um which is fine cuz I don't expect my players to be amazing at puzzles.
That's fair. Especially considering how dice rolls work. Puzzles can be easily hit and miss.
Yeah.
Ooh, I will say, when it comes to her apartment, I just thought of an interesting idea. You remember those Nordic puzzle doors in Skyrim?
Yeah.
The ones you open with the claw?
Yep.
Something like that. That would be hilarious.
Yep. They all lead to an extra dimensional space, and as you get higher up in the guild, your space becomes larger.
Makes sense. So you could go from a studio to a suite.
You go from like a 5-foot cube to
Oh,
a magnificent mansion.
nice.
Um,
Which I would wager, depending on which job she's doing, she would probably be used to living in both, because if she's working for Sadek, odds are she at least has some clout.
so I haven't allowed Theo to have that much clout. I've been making him work for it. Oh, I just put that in my water bowl. I do that all the time. Um, so I haven't allowed him to have, I think he is at level 3 in the Demir, and you go up to level 50.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I would say that you could be the same.
Okay.
And
So she doesn't work directly for Sadek, but she would report to him then.
I'm above table. I don't think you know who Sadak is. I think that you've been working for one of the many people that show himself as Sadak.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. That makes sense.
Come on, why aren't you centering? Because you're not doing it properly, Allie. Pay the fuck attention.
I am beginning to wonder if I may be becoming gluten intolerant. Then again, that's one of the ironies of the carnivore diet. I stay away from most non-meat things, which would naturally include bread.
Mm-hmm.
So when your body gets used to not eating it, it might be wondering, okay, what the is this?
Uh-huh. Yep, just like milk.
Yeah, I'm learning that too. Milk is one of those where it's like, nowadays, if I want to be able to tolerate milk, I have to either go to Brahms, or on the rare occasion I can afford it, just drink goat's milk. Because amusingly, goat's milk does not bother my body at all.
Yeah, it has far less lactose than cow's milk.
Oh, that makes sense. That also explains why my doctor wants me to get Lily on goat's milk as soon as possible. My father and my wife, on the other hand, are trying to have basically said, yeah, no, we're going to wait until she's a year old. Which I'm like, that's not necessary, but whatever. I'm getting outvoted here.
I just don't drink milk.
I have to be in the right mood.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, and I'm assuming, I don't know, I assume it's part of just how my brain functions because I love chocolate. I can do chocolate milk any day of the week, and I don't care. I think Lily was interested in that idea. Because as soon as I said that, she grinned.
I know, honey. I know. I don't know. I don't know where Gary is. If you whine loud enough, maybe he'll come back down here. No, he won't. He can't hear her. Um,
Okay, so above table, I picked Sadek because of his apparently vampire background. I saw that and I thought it was cool.
okay.
but I have no idea who he actually is. You're saying that he can apparently take more than one form?
Yeah. He can. He also has doppelgangers. Okay. Oh my goodness. He also has doppelgangers that play him at public things. Um, and depending on the lore you're following, he could be dead, or that could just be a farce.
Interesting.
Um,
Hmm.
so he could just be a spirit right now. Oh, yeah. All right, hang on. All right,
Lily's
that is bowl number 4.
Lily's kicking her legs in their swing. She's like, hello?
Okay.
What? You have to stay there.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. Give me a second. I will let you upstairs. I need a minute. My hands are covered in goop.
Sounds like
I know.
doggos.
My dog is freaking out right now. He probably
I just,
either heard my parents come home or he really needs to go outside. Either way,
yeah.
letting him out, letting him upstairs. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Let me wipe off my hands.
What?
All right.
Mm.
Okay. Come on. There you go. Okay. Now, here is the problem. I don't have any flat space anywhere. So, where are you going? I knew this was the problem that I was going to run into.
Yeah.
Did I solve this problem before I started this challenge? No, I did not.
Mm.
So,
Do you not
let's.
have a Do you not have a desk or table you can clear off?
No. Um, no. Oh, I have folding chairs.
That'll
Folding
work.
chairs equal flat space, sort of.
Most of the time, yeah. Depends on the chair.
Okay, folding chair. You go here. You go here. And then you can come off my wheel.
That was funny. I looked at Lily and I was like, "Hi, Lily." She looked at me like, "Don't you hi me. I know you put me in here."
Okay. Bowl 4. Done.
They learning how to work the swing came in handy because now I know how to properly strap her in the stroller when the time comes.
Nice.
Yeah, because before she knew how to roll over, I was lucky enough that I didn't need the straps.
Oh, yeah. Nope.
Where now that she can roll over, I don't dare use that stroller right now. Because with my luck, she'd try to spin out of it. I'm like, I said, I'm not giving you that chance.
We're going to clear that out. I just took all the chunks out of my slip one. And I'm going to put my water bowl into there.
Hmm.
And then I'm going to grab some fresh water.
Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. I was going to go on YouTube so I could actually view what was going on again, and then I remembered, well, no, if I do that, I have to mute YouTube. But if I mute YouTube, it's one of those where it's like YouTube is controlled by my master volume on my phone. So if I mute YouTube, it's going to mute everything. I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. Wait a minute. I have an idea.
So what was your first mission as a Demir? Like first mission, like baby mission.
Oh. Okay, let's see.
Like, was it like to bring this envelope to this person? Was it to walk into a bar and sit down next to someone and talk to them and keep them busy for an hour?
Oh, blast. I can't mute YouTube. That's stupid. Why does it not let me do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, normally there's a button where you can toggle. Oh, well, that's stupid. I can't see you. I was trying to be able to see you while on my phone, but
Yeah.
oh well. First mission. Now, are you talking like when she's still with her parents, or once she got moved into the Demir as a whole?
I would say if you're working for the Demir, you probably got like moved out of your parents' house at that point.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I thought we were at. Let's see. Given what I have her doing, I think. Well, I mean, besides obviously learning her way around the archives, I think her first mission would probably be to look up information on somebody specific.
Okay.
Ugh. I am glad that Lily is not old enough to understand the concept of how to hold a grudge.
Why? What
Because
are
I'm
you
willing to.
doing?
Exactly. No, it's just that I've got her in the swing, and I don't. Based on her facial expression, she's not happy.
Ah,
She likes to be
hold,
able to move.
hold me.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way that I can't do that. Because if I hold her for more than a few minutes, it rubs up against my sternum where I was T-boned,
Ah,
and so it aggravates that scar tissue.
interesting. That sucks.
Yeah, because it makes my chest hurt.
Okay.
I am not dexterous enough to try the whole baby on the hip part either. Oh, that's interesting. Now she's smiling at me now that I'm up and walking around. I wonder. There. You should be able to see her now.
Oh, I can't see anything other than my chat and my OBS. Yeah.
Oh, talking on Discord. You want to say hello to Tita Ali? You probably guessed, but Tita means aunt.
Yes, did know that one.
Despite the fact that the Spanish translation is Tia.
Yeah, I make a lot of inferences from other languages.
Oh, sure, so do I.
So what is her current mission for the Demir?
Currently, she is attempting to locate a library. I have not given her a why as of yet, now that I think about it. Let's see. Did I give her a why? No, I did not. Interesting.
Water again.
Oh, that makes sense. She would probably be looking up information on Theo.
Okay. And why are we
Or,
researching Theo?
or possibly Benjamin. I can't remember what that conversation was. We had that discussion earlier at some point, and I don't remember the details offhand.
About what? Which conversation?
Uh, how she knew Theo and or Benjamin.
Well, you would know Benjamin because he used to be in charge of um, the primary military base called Sunholm. He was second in command to Aurelia.
Okay.
And he has since retired to a small town of Astoria. Where Theo is from.
Right.
So, just in general, your character would know who Benjamin is.
Oh, okay. I mean, my assumption at this point was working in the archives, she would probably have at least some degree of knowledge on possibly everybody, but I haven't actually thought that one through yet.
I mean, so there's a million people in Ravnica. So in theory,
Right.
you wouldn't have information on everyone.
Wouldn't that information be in the archives?
Yes, but why were you? So like, Okay, let's start with what your mission is.
um, like I said, offhand, I haven't come up with one yet.
Okay. Because yeah, so like if your mission is Theo, um and I can give you a reason um that I think would be really cool.
Try me.
But if your mission is Theo, then you would have information on like Theo, his father, Buck, and
Potentially Achu.
yeah.
Granted, that would technically be irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean you would probably have like um Buck had a son named Chu. Unclear as to where he is at this point.
Good point. Location unknown. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but you could be um so because of the war that's happening and his father and Buck being anti-war,
Mm-hmm.
um
As in pacifist or just
as in they are not wanting Ravnica to help with the war effort.
uh
Not their war, not their problem. But
okay. So indifferent, not so much pacifist.
yeah. But they are getting paid a lot of money Ravnica is getting paid a lot of money in contracts to create, build, etc., things for the war effort. So before the final vote in the Simic, wrong bowl. Um, they somebody tried to assassinate them.
Both of them?
Both of them. Well, a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people died. Um,
The hilarious part is my brain says, I wonder if that could have been one of one of Duvanian's counterparts. Because remember, at one point I said she had assassin training.
oh, there you go. Maybe.
That
Um,
would almost be hilarious, but at the same time, I could see that being problematic too.
that would be, yeah, that would result in PvP in the game. So unless, there's redemption arcs and stuff like that, then I'm definitely not going there.
True, I could see. Ooh, I just had an idea.
Okay.
We could eventually come across one of the Demir assassin that was hired to take Theo out, and Duvanian would basically deal with that assassin in an attempt to protect Theo.
Okay. Love it.
Ideally, she would above table reach at least level 6 before pulling this off, because at my current state, I'm not entirely sure how I'd play that.
um so yeah, so you would know about the assassination or the attempted assassination. Um you wouldn't know how it was thwarted.
Or who would I know who sent whom?
Um you would know that the Orzhov hired people from the Is It.
Uh huh. But I don't know any specific names.
Um, yeah, you might.
Like, for example, would I be able to tell Theo, hey, just a heads up, this person is after you, so keep your
Um,
eyes open?
if you wanted to play it like that, yeah.
Ooh, this could get fun.
Yeah. I would
Well, I
I
will
would
say for what it's, while I will be using potentially questionable tactics, at least as far as some people would make the argument, she herself is not what I would consider a bad person.
Okay. Um, so do you want the Demir to be protecting Theo? Or do you want to, or are you just supposed to collect data and report back eventually? And then you decide on your own to protect Theo?
Hmm. I will say having the Demir help me protect him would make a lot of sense given that she's attempting to deal with Orzov. And if I understand correctly, Orzov was the one that put the bounty out on them anyway.
It wasn't even a bounty. It was just we contract killer.
That's a bounty hunter.
Um, different. Bounty hunter is they choose to take the job. Contract killer is we hire you for a job.
Oh, in that they don't have a choice.
Um, they always have the choice to say no, but
Okay.
yeah, contract killer is more like I am hiring you for this one job. Bounty hunter is more like here is a list of people, and if I find any of the people I'm looking for, I can
Oh,
take
I
them
get
out.
more focused than generalized.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because I was
Paid
like,
more money.
yeah, because my brain was running the semantics, and I'm like, this sounds like the same thing, just under a different name.
Yeah. Paid more money.
Makes sense.
All right. This is bowl number 5.
Mm-hmm. For curiosity's sake, could you put a? Do you have a picture of Bowl 4? Because I'm curious to see the finished product.
Um, that is bowl 4. That is bowl 3. This is bowl 5. 5. This one is a little bit shorter. Where's my finger? That one's a little bit shorter than I would have liked. Um, but it's still
Remember,
nice and wide.
remember, I can't see the YouTube feed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm AFK. I'm AFC for the time being.
When you know what? I'm going to hit this with the heat gun. When I put this up as a short later, I will number the bowls as I go along.
Ah,
It'll just have a number above each one. I'm hoping to get to 20 bowls today, but I don't see that happening since I'm only at number 5 and I'm pretty much almost halfway through my day. So we're going to go for 10, but that's okay.
yeah.
It might go faster when I get down to the 4 8-pound bowls versus the 6-pound bowls, but we'll see. I have
Possibly.
one more 6-pound bowl to do right now. Just drying this out. And I only have the big bats. I only have 6 of the big bats. So I need to do 6 of the 6 pounds every day. I can do them on the little bats, but I'd prefer not to.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to maneuver myself. I finally managed to sit down on the ground. And I've got the phone on the ground, so I'm probably going to have to yell at you at this point. But Lily is hungry.
Oh, cool. Come on. Thank you. Ooh, coffee.
Move you forward at all. Awesome. Oh, bonus. Now the chair actually swings all the way.
Once I get some of these into the kiln, or once I get some of these dry, I can get them into the kiln and drying in there, which will give me more flat room down here.
Awesome. Oh, sorry. I answered you, and apparently Lily was not ready for that because she jumped.
Okay.
She's used to hearing background noise because I'm typically watching something on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Because unfortunately, I am not at a stage where I can get away with actually getting any real work done while she's awake.
No.
Whoa, what's going on? Oh, thank God. Okay.
No.
I just got a text from one of our friends at church, and the amount of text that I got at the start was, "This is his daughter. We are turning off his." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I was prepared to read life support because I was like, what? But no, they're just turning his phone off.
Well, that's good that he's not on life support.
Yeah, amen to that. Because at this point in his life, that would probably just confuse him. But anywho, so in game, when would be the proper time or way, do you think, to inform Theo of what she knows
awesome.
about it?
Okay. Sorry, Gary was yeah. Good. We're just talking about random stuff. We're talking about his character, then we're talking about random stuff, then we're talking about his character. We just keep going back and forth. Yeah. Okay. Have fun. Yeah, he was like super whining.
Yeah.
When would be the appropriate time to tell Theo that you're watching him?
Or that somebody is looking for him. Because I'm not sure the social aspect on that. Because it's like pretty much any time you tell him, that's going to be like dropping a bomb on him.
Right. And that's going to, well, I don't know. It may not take him away from going to go search for Sacro, but maybe it would. Um,
I suppose worst case scenario, we could just wait until they show up and be like, okay, this is this guy. Here's the situation.
um, so, and what
Ow.
did you talk to Blue about?
Hmm.
What did you talk to Blue about in character during our last game?
Offhand, I don't remember. I would have to look.
Sure.
Let's see. I don't see a conversation with Blue. I see a conversation with Kira.
Okay, I thought you had a conversation with Blue in a private chat between the two of you guys when you guys were talking about like code words and stuff.
Oh, right. It was just a code phrase, which offhand I don't remember. I would have to look
Okay. Um
about spiders.
yeah. Because that's the insignia for the guild is a spider.
Oh, that makes sense.
Um okay.
Meanwhile,
Uh,
my back is wondering what I'm doing because I can't sit like this much longer.
That's
But
okay.
unfortunately, Lily does not understand that. All she knows is I can't feed her. Worst case scenario, I'll unstrap her and put her in the crib. I think what I'm gonna need to do is put some of my wife's menthol oil on my back. Yeah, we order this menthol laced oil from the Philippines, and on a good day, it does a good job at relaxing tight or sore muscles.
Nice.
The irony is, it also has that warming property like you get from icy hot.
Uh-huh.
So I've learned the hard way. Certain parts of my body I cannot put that on. Otherwise, for some reason, it starts to get to where I end up having to take a shower to get rid of it because it becomes uncomfortable.
Yep. Okay.
Which is
Bowl
weird,
number.
upper back or my lower back, but it can't decide which one.
Come on. Okay, this is bowl number 6. I think once I'm done with this one, I'm gonna go for lunch. Um, so when do you tell Theo? Um, I
My
think,
assumption would, if he asks, like,
well,
how do you know? Something along that line.
yeah, and I mean, you could accidentally on purpose say something about his um something about like now, especially now that Starlet's there.
Something along the lines of like, "Oh, you're just like your father."
You're just like your father, or um I see Buck is this is so off center, it's not even funny. uh I see Buck has come a long way with uh the oozes oh, why would you know that? Oh, never mind.
Ow. Meanwhile, I'm having to massage my thigh because it's getting to the point where it's starting to cramp. But then I will say this is the longest I've sat in a position that doesn't involve chair in ages. Oh, okay, you're probably done. Okay, I'm going to stand now. Oh. Okay, there we go. But
Ambassador. Oh, garbage. Okay. Um, yeah, you could just be like, huh, Buck has come pretty far working with his oozes. And then when Theo's like, how do you know about Buck and oozes? You could be like, oh, never mind.
right. Or given how he just pissed her off, she could make the argument that I could see Buck hasn't taught you proper manners yet. Meanwhile, I feel like I need to take a nap, but at the same time, I know that if I do, I'm going to regret it.
I would love a nap.
Because, shockingly, I still have a limited circadian rhythm.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to divulge everything at once. I know you have the Gary syndrome of like wanting to, but you don't have to. That's up to you.
And I think that's just because IRL, I'm typically an open book. I don't like the idea of keeping secrets if I don't have to.
And if that's how you want to play your character, go for it.
It's one of those where it's like, I like the idea, but as we've learned with Deku, I'm probably not the most reliable.
And it's interesting that you're playing a Demir and you can't keep secrets. That's problematic.
Oh, shoot. Hmm? I swear, I wish I knew what she was trying to say.
Oh, don't worry. In about 3 years, she'll tell you everything that she has to say.
True, but I mean, on the same token, it's one of those where it's like, by that point, I'm hoping I'll at least have a way to be able to more effectively communicate. Where right now, I'm having to guess.
Yep.
Then again, I mean, that's typically how I am with most people, I've noticed. That's the irony of autism. I have to guess at what a lot of people are trying to say. Hmm. What's this? That is impressive. If you go to the memes tab uh, in the Roll With Us chat server, you'll notice that Miko put up where somebody apparently built a Warhammer out of hardware.
Oh, nice.
It looks like faucets and pipe is my guess, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, good. One of my friends in my prayer group has been dealing with shingles, and apparently he's back to normal now.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Right.
That
I
is
forget the fact that
bold.
when I'm using Discord on my phone, if I close the Discord app, it kills the call.
Yes, it does. Um, but for the moment, I'm thinking you can do that because this is bowl number 6, and I am
And you,
going to go to lunch.
okie dokie.
I'll probably be back at about 1 if you want to continue hanging out and talking about your character. Um,
Eastern time, I assume.
yeah. So about a half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be back.
As for me, I'm debating whether I want to try and make. I have a recipe for a pizza that involves ground chicken as the crust.
Huh, neat.
Yeah. My question is whether I dare to try that now or just wait until Jean gets home. I'll probably just wait until Jean gets home because at least that way I can hopefully be able to do so undistracted by Lily.
All right. Well, I guess I will leave that here. And when I come back, I'm going to
Okay.
have to figure out how to move stuff around.
And when the time comes that you are ready to continue, you can call me on Discord.
Okay, cool.
And depending on whether I'm on my phone or my computer, I will answer one way or the other.
All right. Awesome. Have
Take care.
fun.